All right, good morning, everybody. What's going on, everyone? Hello? Phil here live on the stream. Starting up a fresh, brand new streaming week for all of you. I hope you're all in a good mood, and I hope you all guys are ready for some fun streams this week. Guys, this is going to be a good one. We've got a new game that I just started continuing on. We've got another new game starting up tomorrow. We got a lot of fun interactive stuff when it comes to penny points wagering with multiplayer games such as Call of Duty and Street Fighter. We got some chill stuff in there with Yakuza 7. We got a good variety of stuff coming up this week, and I'm excited for this week for sure because we are doing some variety of stuff, and a lot of the ongoing stuff that we were kind of stuck playing is over with. Finally, games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Yakuza 7's main story mode and all of that is all done, which means we can move on into newer stuff, which I think a lot of people have been waiting for some time. Okay, new month ahead. We're in the final week of February, only a few more days left in the month, and then we head into March, which should be exciting as well. In March, got a bunch of new stuff planned, including another Viewer's Choice playthrough, Ask the King, among other things that are going to be going down, so should be a good time. Alrighty. First thing I'd like to say to all of you is I hope that you guys had a good day yesterday when I was not here live on stream, okay? It was my day off, although most people, when they have a day off, it means that they relax and, and have fun. Not so much for me. I'll tell you guys about my day off in a minute. Honestly, pretty draining and stressful. I'm actually physically sore today from the amount of shit that I had to do yesterday. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, I hope that all of you had a good day away from the streams. Whatever you did, whether you chilled, whether you played games yourself, whether you hung out over on DSPGaming on YouTube and you got caught up with playthroughs over there, whatever it is you may have done, I hope that you had a good one, all right? And I certainly hope that you are ready for another full week of streaming. That means 6 straight days of streaming, okay? Now, before we get to that, before we get to the schedule, before we get to all of that, I want to just give all of you an update on the situation that happened on Monday that completely threw me for a loop. Everyone was confused. I'm still confused. And let you know exactly what's going on here with me, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, on Monday, I'm live streaming the premiere of my Divinity Original Sin 2 playthrough. Now, not having really played a game like this as a playthrough before, it was interesting to see how this was going to be. An RPG that is this top-down style and has a unique combat style and all of that. And so I'm trying to get immersed in it. And as you guys know, that stream got completely derailed when all of a sudden my tips page vanished from the internet. Said I didn't exist. And, people support the streams. They come out, they support the streams, and people who come out to tip were all messaging me during the day. They say, like, I want to tip you, but I can't. Your page is missing. The hell? And, I did as much as I could during the course of the stream to figure out what was happening. And essentially where we left it was I sent a log, a help log, to Streamlabs. Now, Streamlabs, much like many other major tech corporations, only uses this thing. It's called Zendesk. What it is a work log system where you submit a request and they assign it, and then it gets divvied out to some employee in the company to look into and respond to, and then you're supposed to get a response. Machinima used to use this, and many other companies as well. Even Curse, when I was partnered with them on YouTube, they used Zendesk. Okay, it's been 2 days since that happened. In that time frame, I have received 0 response from Streamlabs. 0. Okay? So I don't know what happened. Now, in the meantime, during my day off, a couple people actually did some research into this to say, is this something that just happened to Phil? Or is this something that seems to be happening to other people? Because I think one of the really weird things about the situation is, if, let's say, this was Streamlabs deciding on a whim out of nowhere, despite the fact they've never spoken with me ever in the 3 years that I've used their site and their business to stream on and to have pop-up messages and to do all of the work when it comes to like sorting out your contributions during streams and taking in tips, you know, all that stuff that it's been doing for 3 years. If all of a sudden they just decided we don't want Phil to have, you know, to be with us anymore for some odd reason, do you think they would have said something? They would have sent a message and said, hey, Phil, you know, because we determined that something that happened in your content is ridiculous, we don't want you here anymore, or something like that, right? And the other weird thing about it, not only did I not get a message about that at all, but the other weird thing is I could still use Streamlabs. Pop-up messages and everything still work. I can still take in cheers. I can still take in subs. The pop-up messages still work for all that stuff. It's only the tips functionality that seems to have been shut down for some odd reason. So people looked into this over the course of yesterday when I was off, and 2 different people actually gave me some results, and here's what they came up with. It's not just me, although this is not widespread. Apparently this is an issue that's starting to happen more and more with a small handful of streamers. And it's all identical to my situation. These streamers are not contacted about it. They have no information about it. All of a sudden, the tips page just disappears. And they can't seem to get it to show up again. And they reach out to Streamlabs and get no answer. It just hasn't started working again. Now, maybe in another world, this would matter. But the thing is, there's many competing services out there when it comes to streaming. You got Muxy, you've got Stream Elements, and there's a few others as well. They've all stepped up to try to take on some of this market share for streamers when it comes to things like having pop-ups, taking in contributions, etc. All right? So the weirdest thing about all of this is it doesn't seem to make any sense, right? Like, there's no sense about it at all. It's just confusing. And really, after just initial shock of me being like, damn, I wonder what happened, it really doesn't affect me at all. There's many, like I said, many other services out there that I can use with no issues. In fact, during the course of the stream on Monday, on the fly, I switched from using Streamlabs to Stream Elements to take in tips. And it took me maybe 20 minutes to set up, and it works. I know because we did it for the last portion of that Divinity stream on Monday, and then for Fall Guys Monday night, and it worked fine. So, very confusing that this happened this way. Do I expect that I'm going to get a resolution? Probably not. And quite frankly, if I don't get a resolution, say by the end of this week from Streamlabs, what I'm likely going to do is convert everything over. Yeah, I'll probably convert everything over to Stream Elements, meaning the pop-up messages and everything for the streams. Right now, you know, I haven't touched anything from Streamlabs because the cheering and subbing already still worked. But if they're not going to unban the tips functionality, which makes no sense that they banned to begin with, I'm just going to use another service. The other thing is, the whole thing makes no sense, and here's why. You might think, oh, what would be some reasons why a company would ban someone from taking in tips or whatever? Well, maybe if that person was doing criminal activities, right? If that person was actually doing criminal things on their streams and they didn't want to be associated with it, or any money, you know, in association with that stream. Obviously, that's not the case. And, you know, think about this. If that was happening, would I even be allowed on Twitch or YouTube? Of course not, right? So that's certainly not the case at all. But what about maybe there was something with Phil's tips that was affecting Streamlabs? Like, some people have already made these weird hypotheses. Oh, well, Phil keeps talking about he gets all these chargebacks. So maybe all those chargebacks queued up and Streamlabs didn't like that, and because of that they shut down his tips page. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. Here's why. They don't actually see chargebacks at all. Chargebacks are through PayPal, not through Streamlabs or any other third-party service that takes in a tip. The only time that Streamlabs, or again, any other company like Stream Elements, would see anything with tips is when the tip comes in initially. That's it. They would see absolutely no effect at all from anything getting charged back. So they wouldn't even know that I got chargebacks. There's no way for them to know that because it's directly through PayPal. So none of this makes sense. Like, it literally makes no sense. After thinking about it for 2 days, I've come up with a hypothesis. It's just a bug. It's got to be some weird bug that's happening with Streamlabs where it's just... Because the other thing is, some of these other streamers who've been affected by this issue, we're completely unrelated. It's not like it's only certain kinds of streamers that are being affected or whatever. It's completely random. I don't think there's any association between us. I just think it's just random shit happening. And I think Streamlabs has no idea what's going on. And because this is not a widespread, rampant issue, they're not going to speak out about it because, you know, it's small time and they don't know what's happening. So why would they bother with all of this, right? So, I get the feeling it's just something stupid to happen. Really, I get the feeling it's just something completely stupid. It is what it is. The good news is everything is back to normal. If you guys, you know, want to support the stream via tipping, which I appreciate that, you could do it already. You know, the link still works. Exclamation point tip brings up the link. It's just a different link now. And now I'm going to start putting that link into all of my description of all my YouTube videos. My one concern is there's going to be people who maybe don't contribute that often, but every once in a while they come by and they want to help out, especially people who may be a YouTube viewer. And maybe they've bookmarked the tips page and it's the old page and it just won't work anymore, right? So, you know, it is what it is. We'll move forward positively. And like I said, if I don't get an answer by Streamlabs by, say, this weekend about what happened and any kind of a resolution, I will likely swap over completely, stop using them, and start using Stream Elements to do everything. And it'll be a smooth transition because I don't think you guys really care about what service I'm using for pop-up messages. Maybe the text will look a little bit different or whatever, but for the most part, I think it's going to be fine. Okay? By the way, you guys hear those landscapers outside? They're pretty loud. I guess I'll close the window for now. Hold on. Let me close the window. There we go. Because that's really freaking loud. Until they're done. They'll probably be done in like a half an hour, and then I'll open the window again. Okay, so that's it. There's no real update for you guys. It's just business as usual at this point. I'm not too nervous or worried about any repercussions or future stuff happening because there's no repercussions for anything. Nothing happened. It's just kind of random shit that happened on Monday. Pretty weird. So I guess we'll see. Okay? Alright, outside of that, let's briefly talk about my day off yesterday. Then we'll go to the schedule stuff. I got some personal stuff to talk about quickly. And then we're going to get into some news. Only a couple things in news I want to talk about today. Nothing too major, but there's two major announcements. One about the Sony thing tomorrow and a little bit more of a follow-up with the Zelda anniversary, stuff like that. And then we'll get the shout-outs and then we'll get started. Okay? Alright, so. Yesterday, my day off was very, very, very... how can I say? Physical, active, strenuous stuff, all right? First of all, as usual, I had to go grocery shopping. And what I've noticed is, sadly, hate to say this, stores around here are getting a lot lax with the stuff that they're stocking in their service. It's very frustrating. Because, for example, if you have a few things that you really like, if you have a particular kind of breading that you like to use on everything that you bake, if you have a particular kind of thing that you like to put into various recipes. What I've found is that a lot of these places are kind of frustrating. They're not really stocking very well. Now, it can't be, it's not like a year ago where the pandemic just started and everyone rushed to stores and overbought. It's just, it seems to me like in the last year, a lot of stores, just seem to have gotten lax with the way they do stuff. Maybe it's because of COVID. Maybe it's because, like I've been saying recently, in the light of all the events of the last year, a lot of stores have high crime rates, like high theft now. And who knows what's really happening. But half the time, I'm serious, this is not an exaggeration anymore. Half the time when I go grocery shopping, I just can't find what I need. I go there, I'm like, okay, I need this ingredient for this recipe that we like. It's gone. Well, what do you mean it's gone? They don't even have it. And sometimes it's common shit you would expect a store to have, like chicken thighs. We don't have them. What? You don't have chicken. Your grocery store, you don't have chicken thighs. Last week, they didn't have celery. Celery! An insanely common ingredient for how many different recipes? No celery in the entire store. So it's frustrating because sometimes what ends up happening is either I have to try to make a substitute that sucks or I have to go to another grocery store. And the past couple of weeks, this has happened where there's like key ingredients missing and I gotta go somewhere else and waste tons of time to get ingredient from another store because one store doesn't stock it. And it's a common thing. It's just very frustrating. So, I don't know what's going on with this. It's very odd, to me anyway. You know, I don't know if it's a supply chain issue. I don't know what the deal is. Why is everyone saying Phil bro, Phil bro? Why? Because I like celery? This is just an observation I'm making. You know, it's just weird to me that the grocery stores aren't, like, a lot of stuff is missing from the shelves, and it's not because of hoarding. It's just weird, like they're just not stocking well. All right. So first of all, it's frustrating because this is my day off, and here I am. You know, I'm supposed to be getting stuff done quickly so I can spend time with my family, and instead I'm at multiple grocery stores. Okay. Now, in addition, I've had to actually make a trip to the dump yesterday. We've had to make one for months. You know, we have a pet, Jasper, and, you know, he's got kitty litter that adds up, plus, you know, other things, and we just have a bunch of shit around the house that's we're trying to get rid of. We're cleaning out the house. We did a thorough amount of house cleaning over the holidays into January, and we had all this stuff kind of saved up, and we're like, we're ready. We got to make a dump run, and we just haven't had a chance to do it, whether it was the colder weather, snow and stuff, but we just didn't have a chance to really do it. And now we're like, damn, we got all kinds of shit that we got to throw out. And so finally, we basically yesterday sat down for about half an hour and bagged all this shit up, loaded up the car, and then I went to the dump, and oh my God, that was a lot of shit. Like, the whole car was full. So I spent a lot of time just tossing shit, and it was annoying because, number one, because of COVID, even the garbage dump basically makes it so that you can't even have your car parked next to someone else at the dump. They spaced it out, so you have to wait. Really, it used to be like 10 to 12 people could be there at once. Now it's like 5 people, including if like a garbage truck from picking up in your neighborhood or around the area is dumping. So every time you go to the dump now, there's a big line. And so I'm waiting, and there's a ton of people around who are dumping stuff right now. You know, and these aren't people like me filling up a little compact car with bags of trash. These are people with giant pickup trucks, huge giant rentals like U-Hauls, full of stuff, and it takes them like half an hour to an hour to unload their stuff. So I'm just sitting here in my little compact car waiting. I'm like, oh my God, how long is this going to take? This is something that should take like 5 minutes. And but by the way, before COVID, it did take 5 minutes. I've been to the dump before COVID happened. And this is something you get in there, dump, you're gone. Be on with your day. Now it's like an endeavor. Like, Jesus, I got to sit here and wait like half an hour, 45 minutes to even pull into a spot. You know, and then I got to try to hurry up. In the middle of me unloading my car of this trash, we've run out of space. We need to change the container that you're dumping into, and that took 15 minutes. A truck had to come pick up the container, drive it away, and then a new truck drove in with an empty container, and that was a 15-minute wait. So it's like, okay, this should have been like 5 minutes, and it was like an hour and a half. So I was pretty tired after that. And then they're doing construction in my local area. Like, in order to get from the dump in my area to the local pet store where I go to get pet supplies for Jasper, you have to drive through downtown. Well, they have taken it upon themselves during COVID to completely destroy all the streets downtown and redo them all. I guess what they're doing is they're digging up pipes, they're digging up electrical lines. They're basically trying to redo all this when they realize that there's not a lot of traffic because of COVID. So, entire downtown area where I live is all detours, construction. Again, this is something where I should have gone through in like 5 minutes, and it took me like a half an hour. So yesterday, for grocery shopping, going to the dump, and buying pet supplies for Jasper, in a normal world, this is something that would have been quick and easy, and likely I could have done all that stuff in an hour. It took upwards of 4 hours to do all that yesterday, on my day off when I was supposed to be like relaxing. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating. when I'm trying to relax. But it is what it is. The rest of the day I came home and actually Kat has begun to replay Persona 5 because she never finished it. She played it many, many years ago, and she only played about the first half of it and then stopped playing it. And she's trying to look. After she beat Assassin's Creed, which we all know, I told you how frustrated she was with that ending of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And I was like, you should start replaying Persona 5. It's a good game, and you know you could either get Persona 5 Royal, which is the better version with extra content, if you want to buy it, or you know we could game share and you could just get the original Persona 5. And she opted to just game share rather than drop more money. So she started replaying Persona 5, and she's loving it. She actually got all the way up to the third dungeon, which is the bank heist or whatever. Yeah, she's up to that point. And so she's really loving it. And what's funny is, you know, right now Persona 5 Strikers just came out. And I told you guys, I'm just not playing it. There's no chance I'm doing it with Atlas having insanely inconsistent policies when it comes to what they claim, what they don't claim, when they strike channels and stuff. You could be in line with what they say to do for a game and then get copyright strikes on your channel because Atlas Japan doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay? So I'm not playing Persona 5 Strikers at all. But it's funny because I'm watching my wife play Persona 5 again, and then people have been posting up over the last day about Persona 5 Strikers. And I'm looking, I'm like, wait, what? Are they playing Persona 5? Because it looks exactly the same. And the answer is no. What they did is they literally copy-pasted the entire interface from Persona 5 into Persona 5 Strikers. It looks like you're playing the same game. People are even saying it's the exact same soundtrack and everything. But the only difference is it's a new plot and it's, you know, action-based combat instead of turn-based. But I'm just staring at it like, dude, it looks exactly the same when it comes to the way the look of the game and everything. It's just, of course, like I said, a new plot. So I guess what you could say is it's like almost like an odd DLC expansion where it does look like you're playing the same game, but in reality you're not because it's a totally different plot and the gameplay elements are different. But if you're an outsider just looking at it, like people are screenshotting it and everything, I'm like, it looks exactly like Persona 5. So, anyway, I'm not playing it. To those who are playing it, enjoy, I guess. Hopefully you guys like it. And I hope that you guys will tell me what you think of it, since I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. I'm just not taking that. You know, I learned my lesson. Okay? I don't want to fuck with something that could risk damaging my business. Okay? A few years ago, when was it? When did Persona 5 come out? 2016, I think? When the game was a new release, I played it, I enjoyed it. I got bit in the ass with copyright strikes, which made no sense. And even Atlas USA could make no heads or tails of it. They said, we have no idea why you received copyright strikes. It doesn't make sense to us. We'll try to get them cleared up. And it took months. And by the time that they got cleared up, I waited a whole year to go back and replay Persona 5 so I could finish it. And I just kind of have to shrug and say, I'm sorry, you know. Do I like Persona 5? Yes. Would I love to play Persona 5 Strikers? Absolutely I would. Is it worth risking my livelihood over? Fuck no. I don't want to get copyright strikes hitting me against my Twitch channel and my YouTube channel because this company can't fucking sort themselves out, you know? So, that's that. It's that simple. No risk for that. I'm not playing it. And maybe if the company did change, but I've heard absolutely no good things about that. In fact, every time I bring it up, someone brings up another horror story of how Atlas kind of fucked with them. I'm like, well, I guess I'm kind of doing the right thing here then. You know, I'm probably doing the right thing of not... Like, I'm erring... What do they call it? Erring on the side of caution. Right? So that's likely what... I mean, I've erred on the side of caution. I didn't want to risk doing something that was going to end up biting me in the ass. So I didn't, you know. I've been more conservative and played it safe. And, you know, and that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to fuck around with this stuff because it's not worth it. For what? To play one single game and then get copyright strikes because you played the first Atlas game in multiple years? So, not doing it, okay? So that's really it. You know, my day off was interesting because half the day it was very strenuous. I was out driving around, half the day, all day long. And then I came home and, the other half of the day I hung out with Kat and Jasper. We had some good food. We actually ordered Indian food for the first time in like 6 to 8 months, because we had Indian food last year delivery, but we hadn't had any since like August. So yeah, so it was really good. I got, for the first time ever, I've never tried this before, I tried some tandoori food. For those who don't know, tandoori is a cooking method in Indian cuisine where they put meat in, or other stuff. I think it's like on a skewer, and they put it inside of a clay pot, and they cook it that way. And I think it's various things. I've saw some of them use coal, and they cook in this clay pot or clay oven. And I've never had this before. I ended up getting, it was basically not the spice, because they have two different kinds of chicken. They have like a spicy chili chicken, but then they have one that's more butter. So I got the butter style. I forget what it's called. It has some complex name that I can't remember off the top of my head. It was very unique. It was one of the most unique flavorings I've ever had in food, because when you first start eating it, it's salty, but then all of a sudden you start tasting all these other spices that hit your tongue. Then all of a sudden you taste the butter, the creaminess of like the butter sauce that they put on it. But then afterwards, it has a spice level to it that starts building the more you eat it. So it was like all these unique flavors combined. I've never had anything that tasted like that before. And I loved it. Both Kat and I said, wow, this is like really good. In fact, one of the coolest things is with the tandoori, you get to taste kind of like almost like a char flavoring on it. It's not heavy char like you get on a grill, because you're not actually touching the grill. It's on a skewer, like I said. But I'm eating it, I'm like, I've never had something hit my taste buds like this before. So I was very, very pleased. And actually I said next time around, I'll probably try something different. I had done the chicken, but likely I'll do something different. Like maybe I'll do the chili chicken, or maybe I'll do a different kind of thing altogether, not chicken at all. All right? But wow, that shit was good. Hobo X, I should try masala dosa. I don't know what that is. I wonder if they have that. But another thing I really love in Indian cuisine is fresh naan bread. Dude, fresh naan bread is the fucking bomb. It is like, it's toasty, but it's soft and chewy, and you can dip it in different sauces. Like my wife got a vindaloo, and we dipped our naan bread in her vindaloo sauce. Like, oh, dude, that shit is so good. And the other thing about Indian food, much like any food, yes, you could eat Indian food and you could get unhealthy shit, but what we got, besides the butter sauce that was painted on my chicken, there was no cheese, no dairy, nothing like that, nothing heavily fried. It was actually quite healthy. And it's funny because the Indian people tend to live a lot longer than a lot of other races. I think it's because they eat better. You know, I'm like, damn, I gotta start eating some better shit like this instead of eating, cheese and cholesterol and fried shit and all that stuff that Americans eat constantly. I gotta start eating more healthier foods. Like, damn, this is good. This is great. They know what they're doing. They know what the fuck they're doing. They're smart. So there you go. What's hilarious is I just complimented, Indian cuisine and the Indian people, and people are acting like I'm saying something that's like culturally inappropriate. No, I'm actually complimenting them. It was amazing. I love their cuisine is like smart cuisine. You don't buy anything from an Indian restaurant and have 40 pounds of cheese and grease on top of it, I mean, honestly, the only thing that they really have that's deep fried there would be their samosas, right? Outside of that, what else can you even think of that's like a deep fried thing or greasy or cheesy, right? Not much. Yeah. So there you go. Low in fat, everything high in flavor. And you know what's also funny is I've had like vegetable curries from Indian food, and you would think, oh, vegetable, that's like vegetarian shit, that's not going to be good. Dude, their vegetable curry is outstanding. It's filling, it's incredibly flavorful, and it's good for you because there's no, no fat, no cholesterol, you know what I mean? It's healthy eating. All right? It's also probably why you don't see any fast food Indian restaurants, because you can't make good food fast. You can't make good, healthy food fast. It's got to have its time taken, All right. Anyway, so I digress. That's what I was talking. I figured I'd give you a little bit of insight into what was going on with me yesterday. So let's talk the schedule. All right, today My second... By the way, the landscapers sound like they're gone, so I'm going to open the window again. Hold on. Ugh. Ooh. There we go. Okay, so today, it's my second ever session of Divinity Original Sin 2. Alright, and I have not gotten very far in the game. I got to what's called Fort Joy, and I walked around for about an hour talking to people, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do for the quests, and it was confusing. I've basically gotten into like one fight in 3 hours of gameplay, and it just seems to me like it's going to be one of those games that's going to be incredibly slow moving. Maybe at one point the game picks up and gets more action-packed. Right now, there is like nothing going on in this game. We're Fort Joy. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. There's some quest lines that I've initiated. I don't know how to continue with them. Like, there's some woman who thinks that her daughter's still alive even though she died. And you're wondering, is there anything to this or is she just nuts? There's a quest line where you're trying to figure out how to remove your slave collar. And I can't figure out how to advance it. I'm just kind of like walking around like, okay, well, it's going to be one of those games. I can tell it's going to be one of those games insanely heavy on dialogue, insanely heavy on story building, and at this point, like, zero action. Okay? So, I guess we'll see what happens today. I'm not sure what's going to happen next, but I'm just going to roll with it, you know? Roll with it and see what happens. Alright? That's the main stream today. Tonight, completely the opposite, because the late stream tonight is an action-packed, wager-filled session of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Alright, I'm going to be very honest with all you guys. Right now, the game I'm having the most fun playing is Black Ops Cold War. I never thought this would happen. This is a complete 180-degree turn from the last several years where Call of Duty has sucked shit. I have not really enjoyed playing Call of Duty that much to the point where I would just drop it within like a month or two, right? I'm actually enjoying Cold War more than most games I've been playing recently. For two reasons. Number one, as you guys know, I feel this is the best combat engine they've had in years. It's a throwback to the old school Black Ops 1 and 2. Threw away a lot of the trash with the specialist classes and stuff that I absolutely hated. And it's just like pure FPS fun. Of course there's bullshit. There's still quick scoping. There's still morons jumping around like fucking Super Mario Brothers kangaroos and shit. But outside of the nonsense, it's pretty much what I would want from a more straight up first person shooter. Okay? Now combine that with the fact that in the last few weeks, we've actually started instituting these predictions for the channel points or penne points. Whenever I'm playing a multiplayer game, we set these wagers for every match, and people absolutely enjoy wagering their channel points for being viewers and earning these points. Oh man, I want to get some more or less, and they have so much fun going back and forth with this. It's actually added incentive to the streams for me. Gee, can I get prone kills? Can I get a string of knife kills? Can I get a positive kill death ratio? Can I do this? Can I do that? And it adds challenge and fun to me, my gameplay, and also to you guys, you know? Now, in addition, we are actually very close to unlocking the sledgehammer. I need to get 3 more multi-kills with the knife, and then we can unlock the sledgehammer. Now, I think that's going to be hilarious. Just smashing people with a fucking sledgehammer, and apparently it has better range than the knife. So, this could be pretty interesting. See what happens here. I hope we can unlock that. It would be really awesome if we could unlock that tonight. We'll see what happens, okay? But I'm excited for that later tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. I hope you guys will join me for some very fun Call of Duty action. All right? Now, tomorrow, we got a new game. Okay? Tomorrow, it's time for Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. This is a rejuvenation of the old school series of all times, the 1980s. How many of you were alive in the 1980s? Raise your hands right now. If you were alive in the 1980s and you actually saw Ghosts and Goblins or Ghouls and Ghosts, its sequel, in actual arcades. If you've actually played one of those games in arcades, raise both of your hands up above your head right now. Now, I want you to look in the mirror and realize no one can see your arms raised because you're at home by yourself, so why are you doing that? It's foolish. Put your arms back down. Okay, but anyway, I played those games in arcades, okay? And they were very, 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 very challenging. Like ridiculously challenging. Okay? To the point where you would sit there like, okay, so I could go play this game and I'll play it for about a half an hour with like $1 in quarters. Or I could play Ghosts and Goblins and I could play it for 25 seconds with $1 in quarters. That's how tough the fucking game is. It was known as a quarter muncher. A game where there's like so many instant deaths and cheap things going on in the game that you would need to really invest a ton of time and effort to even survive a small amount of time. Okay? Now, that being said, this is a rejuvenation. It's actually called Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. Switch exclusive game, which I'm shocked at because you would think a game like this they would want to port to other venues. Maybe even have it as like a, think, oh, it's the free game for PS Plus or something. But for some reason, it's Switch exclusive. I don't know why. But you want to talk about challenging games. You want to talk about a game that's probably going to kick my fucking ass constantly. If you've been saying, man, these RPGs Phil's been playing recently are too slow paced, we need something that's different, you got to be here for this game. If this game is anything like the originals, this is going to be wild. Okay? Absolutely wild. I'm excited to see how this turns out. Alright? So I hope you guys will join me tomorrow for the premiere of Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. By the way, again, you want to talk about channel points wagering. How many times will Phil die in this level? Will he beat it? You know, will he get past this guy in this amount of time? There'll be tons of that kind of wagering available. I'm sure it's going to be that kind of a game. So, hope to see you all tomorrow for that. Okay? That's right. It's a 2D Dark Souls. Ghosts and Goblins is the origin of the get good mentality in games. This game is so tough. You had to really hunker down and study and memorize and just basically really focus, while a lot of other games are more casualized and you could just sit there and kind of button mash. This was like, oh my god, you got to go crazy to continue this game, okay, to actually succeed in it. Now, tomorrow night will be the complete opposite of that. It's my weekly chill stream of Yakuza 7, and as you guys know, when I play Yakuza 7, all I do is grind to prepare for the final super dungeon, and we chat and talk. And last week was fun. We actually had Kasuga, the main character, hit level 99, and we have other people hitting job levels maxed out. So we swapped over everyone's jobs, and now we're building up other jobs to try to give everyone necessary stat increases. So we're getting there. From what people have been telling me, you basically need to max out like 2 jobs per character, and once you do, then you're good to go for the final dungeon. So, continuing on with that, tomorrow night. On Friday, I believe it's the continuation. Let me double check this, but I believe this is the continuation of Mario. I want to double check this because I didn't look at the schedule since I made it 2 days ago. I'm pretty sure. Yes, the continuation of Super Mario 3D World is the main stream on Friday. We're currently in World 9, which is Star World. Now, from what I'm to understand, if we continue on with the completionist nature of the game, and we keep getting all the collectibles, we should unlock another world and then another world. Like there's multiple hidden post-game worlds in the game that get more and more challenging. Some people are actually saying they can't wait for me to get to Champions Row because it took like 100 attempts to beat it. Great. So, more of that on Friday. And then Friday night is my weekly throwback Street Fighter session, as usual. Saturday will be a major daytime stream of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So, if I do well tonight and I unlock the Sledgehammer, that means we'll get to use it all day on Saturday, which will be so amazing, I'm sure. It's going to be hilarious. Also, Bowser's Fury will be continuing and concluding on Saturday night. You guys have asked for me to do one more stream of Bowser's Fury to try to unlock as many of the Star Shinies as Cat Shinies as possible. And I believe we've gotten 2/3 of them. So maybe one more session we'll be able to basically finish that up. That's Saturday night. And then Sunday will be more Divinity Original Sin 2, and I'll be playing more Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection on the late stream. So, there you go. It's a good variety of stuff coming up that I hope that you guys are excited for. I'm excited for this stuff for sure. Like I said, this is a great week of variety, where previous weeks, a lot of the times, have been, oh man, Phil's still playing fucking Assassin's Creed and stuff. It's done. Now we can finally move into all new territory and new fresh stuff. Okay? Now a reminder, ladies and gentlemen. A reminder. I still need you guys for the next few days to keep nominating games for the upcoming Viewers' Choice event, all right? What I need you to do is type ! Viewers' Choice into the stream chat. That'll bring you up a link where you can go to my website and you can nominate games. The more games nominated, the better, and what we're looking to do is get games nominated multiple times by various different people, because the games that are nominated the most, excuse me, are going to qualify to go into a poll that you guys are then going to vote on in the first week of March, okay? And that poll will determine which of these games will actually end up being a full playthrough of mine here on the streams. This is going to be a key thing going on in March, is this special Viewers' Choice event. So please, guys, nominate, keep nominating. And then, of course, when the poll goes live, likely over this weekend, please vote, all right? The more nominations, the better. The more voting, the better. Fair enough? Okay. Sounds good. In addition, the first week of March, I'm planning to do my Q&A show, Ask the King. This is where I answer your questions live in a consolidated setting. It's not just like a stream where I'll just answer random questions left and right. It's actually a show dedicated to answering your questions about stuff. So that's coming up. I need more questions. The more questions I get for that show, the better it is. Please post those up by typing ! Ask the King into the stream chat. All right. That would help out tremendously. The more questions we get, the better the show is. By the way, if you post up your questions early, that is an increased chance that you'll actually get your question answered on the show. Very much increased chance than, say, just trying to post it in the stream chat or on social media that day. If you post it up ahead, I review all those questions. So please do. All right. All right, so outside of all of that, there's not much else going on. The only thing is, for the month of March, I am going to bring back the subscriber goal. If you guys haven't noticed, we've had a monstrous dip in subs this month. Sadly, that means that's a lot of lost revenue for me, you know. This month was a month where things were tight, and I needed to raise as many tips as possible, which you guys did help me with, and I appreciate that. So thank you for that. Maybe next month we need to refocus. Okay? So, I'm going to bring back a subscriber goal for March. But the question is, what do we want to do? Some people have actually said, do something different. No retrospective, no viewer's choice. Maybe bring back a marathon style that you want to do. Do indies again, or a Phil's Choice marathon where I decide to play various things. Or maybe I will set up 3 different marathons and you guys get to pick between the 3. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. One of the marathons that I've wanted to do that I never did was Classic Mario. Mario 1 and 2. And when I say 2, I don't mean the one that was really Doki Doki Panic. I mean original Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers The Lost Levels. I've always wanted to play those games on stream and in some capacity, like, challenge myself. And it's not just me playing them slowly, actually trying to see as far as I can get in like a marathon setting. Can I beat Mario 1 and 2 in one marathon? Right? Something like that. And then there's a goal reach. If I can beat it, there's a celebration planned or something. You see what I'm saying? Redacted code. I see several times you've now posted up in the stream chat you're having issues with the forums. I'm sorry to hear that. Posting it rapidly like this on my stream is a complete waste of your time. There's no way I'm going to turn the stream off to look into this issue. If you actually have a legit issue, you're trying to register for the forums, it doesn't work, email me the details. Tell me your name on there you're trying to use. Tell me your email address. Tell me the deets, and I will forward that to my webmaster and have him look into it. Spamming the stream chat is probably the worst possible thing you can do. You will get absolutely nothing out of that. Okay? So anyway, yeah, what I'm thinking of is, oh, this is actually interesting. So we got a poll going. I believe it was that anonymous set this up. He said marathon ideas. You Mario Marathon, Phil's Personal Choice Marathon, Chess or Tetris Marathon, Indies Marathon, or a Rageathon. See, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't want to do the Rageathon. Here's why. We've done it multiple times, right? Half the time, the games you guys pick aren't rage-inducing at all. I just hate to say it. They're just not. Like, they're not games that make me rage. Some of the games, like, oh, Street Fighter V for the 400th time. And what happens? I play it for an hour. I beat everyone with Ryu, and then I turn it off. It's not rage-inducing. It's stupid. It's a waste of time. So I'd rather do something that's unique and different. Something that I've never done before, right? That's what I would like to do. So that's what I'm kind of thinking is we have a goal set up for March, a subs goal, where it's something, it's guaranteed to be something unique. Maybe I come up with a few ideas for marathons, and then when we hit the subs goal, you guys get to vote on the marathon, and maybe then nominate some of the games for said marathon or something, you know? You're right, I've never played chess. At the same time, what chess games are there to play? Are there any chess games I could actually get and play on a console? Not that I'm aware of, right? I haven't played chess in a million years. I would probably enjoy playing chess, but at the same time, I'm very rusty. Like, I'll remember the basic movements of every piece, but outside of that, I won't remember the complex things. Like, I know you could swap, is it that you swap the king and the rook? There's a special move, or is it the queen and the rook? I'm already forgetting. I used to know these, and I can't remember them. I know there's special maneuvers you can do, and I probably don't remember the maneuvers. Pure Chess is on PS4, and it's free. Oh, really? Wasn't I a chess master? Yes, you guys don't know. When I was young, I flew out to Russia, and I defeated many of the grandmasters out there. But then what happened was, here's what happened. I placed 4th place. The top 3 guys were all grandmasters from Russia. So I was actually the top-ranked American that year for chess. The problem was, basically everyone's discredited my placing because they're saying that the board that was used was not exactly the standard board that most people are used to. So because of that, everyone says that it just wasn't a worthy win. And so they've completely discredited my ranking, and I don't talk about it anymore because what's the point when everyone around the world says that it doesn't matter? All right? Some people like that story. Okay. That's right. It was actually a checkerboard. We were playing chess on a checkerboard, so, it wasn't legit. Okay. Anyway, guys. I digress. So here's the deal, guys. I don't want to do a really long plug segment today because I've already talked a lot. The pre-stream's already 45 minutes long. So you guys know the deal. You guys know that my main source of income is your crowdfunding. Your cheers, your subs, gifting subs, tips. That's how I make my living. I need your help, especially I have to buy a game today. I have to buy Ghouls and Ghosts Resurrection for tomorrow, okay? Here's the deal. I'm going to be very honest with all of you, all right? I need your help right now with tips. Here's why. Right now, I'm trying to raise the funds to pay my tax guy so he'll actually file my taxes this year. This happened last year too, and I've completely forgot about this. He charges up front. My old tax guy never did that. Of course, my old tax guy did my taxes wrong for many years and fucked me over financially, so probably not something that I should be happy about, This tax guy charges me up front, and I need to pay him up front, and I forgot about that. These last couple of months have already been financially tight for me. And then this last month, as you guys know, I talked about this a lot. I worked on my taxes. I did many times behind the scenes here on streams. Between the streams, I was working on tax stuff. So I submitted it all to him last week, thinking we're all good. And he's like, yeah, by the way, you have to pay me or I'm not going to do it. I'm like, oh, fuck. I totally forgot about this. All right? I would like to pay this guy as soon as humanly possible so he can file the taxes and we can get it done. All right? Problem is, I don't have the money for it. We're talking, I'm not kidding, about $1,000 I got to pay the guy so he can start the work. And I don't have the money. I have some of the money, but if I spend it all now, I empty my bank account out again, and we're back to square one where the hell we were last month. Remember how tight it was early on in February? And I was like, God, tip me and forego all other contribution methods because it's so tight. See what I mean? Like, it's like back to square one again. Every month there's something that comes up. It's kind of taking all my money, and, it's not like it used to be where I used to have credit. What I used to do this stuff, I would just slap it on a credit card. I don't have that anymore. I'm 100% reliant on being liquid, having cash flow from the income that I make on the streams. All right? Now, in addition to that, I'm going to have less income coming up this next month because guess what? Look at how the subs have dipped, right? So the subscriptions have dipped as well as, all this going on behind the scenes. Things are very tight here. So if you want to help me out the most, please tip me. All right, I need the help with tips right now. In the short term, I need to pay this tax guy and pay all my normal bills. And I don't want to have to wait. Imagine if I can't raise the money till like April. And now it's like last minute rushing to try to get the taxes done. That would not be good. So if you can support the streams, by all means, please do. That's how I make my living. And if you could tip me right now, that would be tremendous. Tipping is what I need right now to pay this guy. All right? Not to say that other methods aren't appreciated. They absolutely are. But tipping would help me more in the short term. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Previous years, around this time of year, I would always do special fundraising stream. Phil's doing a special marathon stream where he's trying to raise a bunch of money in a short period of time. I don't want to do that. I feel that because things are different, all right, I don't have to do that. That I can put out entertaining streams for you guys every day, and you guys like the streams and you'll just support because you like the streams. Not because I'm doing some special crazy event. You know, I feel like I could just talk about this maybe a couple times a day so people are aware of what's going on. And if you want to support and help me, please do. I don't want to have to do some crazy marathon stream like I used to have to do. Remember, the last couple of years, I did a bunch of those. I don't want to have to do that. If it comes down to that and I have to, I'll have to. But I don't want it to come to that. If you guys are supportive right now on the streams, I won't have to. All right? So please, if you can support the streams, please do. Thanks in advance. Now, you guys know the deal about diversifying your online persona so people can't harass you other places. And also, I'll continue to say, please, guys, if you could create a verified PayPal account, that would help tremendously. It stops me from having to verify every single tip. In fact, I'm not even kidding. A tip came in right now on pre-stream that the person's unverified. So now I have to sit here in a few minutes and ask the person, are you here? Are you a long-standing supporter? Can I trust this tip? I hate having to do that. So if you make a verified PayPal account, it saves us all time. All right? Please do so. That's all I'm going to say, all right? So let's now just get on to news. And there's two news stories that I'd like to talk about today. The first is Sony is going to do a State of Play event tomorrow. State of Play is their online digital show that they do when they have big game announcements. And they've decided they're going to do one tomorrow covering both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. The last major State of Play, if you remember, was right before the launch of PS5. And it talked about all the games that were going to be coming out on PS5. And it was huge. All right. So I'm very curious to see what they have to present. Of course, there's a lot of games this year we've all wanted updates on. When is the next Horizon game coming out? Do we have an update on God of War Ragnarok? Is it coming out in 2021? You know, there's a lot of big Sony-focused games that we've been waiting and anticipating information on. And it looks like tomorrow could be a big day where we're finally going to get answers. Also, The Last of Us 3 is coming out in the next month. I don't know if you guys heard. Last of Us 3, because the 2 was such a great game that they rushed the production of 3. And this one has twice the sex, twice the stupid plot holes, twice the stupid mischaractered trash, and also every person in the game is an underrepresented minority in video games. Completely crammed in. It's beautiful. It's going to be great. It's going to be everything you've ever wanted. Everything you've ever wanted in a video game all in one. So prepare your barf bags, because it's coming. All right. Obviously, I'm just kidding. Anyway. Oh, really? Is this true? So EA, I didn't know this. We talked about this recently. EA has apparently officially just announced they have 100% dropped Anthem. They're not going to do that Anthem revival project they were talking about. That they were saying, oh, we're going all in because we spent so much money on this game. We want to redo the game from the ground up and start it over. Apparently, they just reviewed the progress and decided, fuck it, we're dropping it. This is breaking news. Let's take a look. Breaking news. Let's find it. BioWare. Here it is. BioWare is ending development on Anthem after over a year of overhaul and will instead focus its resources on Dragon Age and Mass Effect. Anthem is officially the biggest flop ever. Like, can you seriously? Wow. The game is done. So that game, I mean, it basically non-existent. After all the hype and shit came out, sucked shit. No one really played it, and then they redesigned it from the ground up. Anthem Next dropped. Holy crap. Wow. What's funny is they promised the world. Like EA promised that they were going to redesign this game and fix everything and make it good, and now they gave up. You know what it is? I hate to say it. They invested so much money and time into this franchise, right? And they were like, this is going to really be our big heavy hitter and everything. And it was one of the worst flops ever. Okay? Worst flops ever. game that was literally a looter shooter, but you fly around in an Iron Man suit. Nothing else to it. It's that simple of a game. A game that they didn't actually want to make. BioWare, that is. They wanted to keep doing story-driven narrative games, and they were told by EA they can't do that. Make this money cash-in game instead. So they did, and look what happened. So it flopped so hard, EA was like, well, we can't really throw the whole thing away. We put so much money into it. We're going to redesign it from the ground up. For a year and a half, they've been working on Anthem Next, remaking the game. Okay? But here's what happened in the last year and a half. People finally forgave EA for how bad Mass Effect Andromeda was, right? And now there's a refocus on making Mass Effect again. In addition, I think people are finally kind of clamoring for the new Dragon Age, right? And so, with all this renewed interest in those established franchises, I think what EA realized is even with Anthem Next, they're never going to get customers to trust that franchise. So even if they redesign the game from the ground up and ended up being one of the best games ever made, they're not going to have a fraction of what they should have had if the game was good at launch. So they cut all their losses. You know? It's sad to see. It really is sad to see. I mean, with the amount of work that apparently went into the game, you know, but the whole game premise was flawed from the ground up. The moment that they were started to make that game, everyone was skeptical. Like, BioWare is known for like RPGs and narrating. Why are they making a looter shooter? Because EA forced them to. They don't even want to. The internal development team said, we don't want to make this game. But they were forced to do it. What a shock the game sucks, right? So, it is what it is. Rest in peace to Anthem. In addition, Cyberpunk, guys, I don't know if you heard about this. The Cyberpunk devs at CD Projekt Red have announced that already that roadmap that they showed earlier this year, if you remember, it was in January, the CEO of CD Projekt Red released a roadmap for development for the fixes and improvements to Cyberpunk 2077. And that roadmap showed that basically in March they were going to have a giant patch that was going to improve the game, fix tons of stuff, and get it back on track to being a completed game. Well, they came out today and said, guess what? Can't live up to our promises. It's going to be delayed. We don't even know when it's coming out now, this patch. Now, the thing is, normally I would stand here and I would yell and I would scream and I would say, wow, they did it again. They failed. In this case, they're citing the fact that they were hacked. They had their source code stolen. And they spent the greater part of the last month dealing with the repercussions of that, the fallout of that. You know, their servers were locked. They had to go get their backup servers and shit to continue work. I mean, what a nightmare for them, right? I'm just like, I actually am going to be a little lenient here and not really scream at them at all. I don't think this one was their fault. I think they probably would have lived up to their expectations if they weren't, you know, attacked the way that they were. Now, Ford Camaro, the conspiracy theorist, says they hacked themselves. Listen, they're all... Oh, my God. They're already in so much hot water. All right? Make or break time for the company. Do you really think they want to fuck themselves over? Like, there's going to be people who don't care. There's going to be people that are going to be like, we don't care that you were hacked. You released a roadmap, and now you're not living up to the roadmap. So this is going to hit them negatively anyway. Do you really feel they did this on purpose? Are you? I'm not that nuts to think that. I think that this is legit. So, anyway, guys, that's obviously bad news. The only other thing that I want to talk about news-wise before we get to shout-outs. So we talked about this a couple days ago, that it was actually the 35th anniversary of Zelda, and Nintendo did nothing for it. There was no celebration. There was no game release. They didn't even tweet about it. They acted like it didn't exist. The fans of Zelda came out together on social media and praised the game series and put out all kinds of artwork, cosplay, talking about the games. You know, what was your first Zelda game? I myself talked about it, how Legend of Zelda Link to the Past was my first and favorite Zelda game. They ignored it like it was a non-event, like it didn't happen. Okay? So, a lot of speculation about all of this, especially with the whole Nintendo Direct that happened last week, that most people at this point have now admitted was incredibly underwhelming. You know, this is supposed to be a year that's not only the anniversary of Zelda, but also Pokemon. And we had, like, nothing in regards to the franchises in that Nintendo Direct besides Skyward Sword, you know, remaster coming out on the Switch with no motion controls if you don't want them, right? So that being said, a lot of stuff going on the internet. People, of course, with their conspiracy theories. All right. So there's one theory out there that COVID has affected Nintendo so negatively, but they don't want to admit it, that they're just not going to talk about stuff and hope that people forget. I don't know how well that'll work because they have one of the most hardcore rabid fan bases on the planet. People are not going to forget these anniversaries. You know, they're going to be still harping on Nintendo all year. Why isn't there no Zelda anniversary? What's going on here? You know what I mean? So I'm not so sure that's going to work. Maybe another company that would work. I'm not so sure that's going to work in regards to Zelda. All right. But the other thing that's going on, rampant speculation. Some people are saying this is the case of New Super Mario Bros. U. All right. Now, I don't know exactly what reference that means, but here's what they're saying. Years and years ago, New Super Mario Bros. U was coming out. And so that was all Nintendo really talked about for a long time. But that was because they actually had something else up their sleeve. But they didn't want to talk about that yet because it would kill the hype for New Super Mario Bros. U. So they literally kept it under wraps. And then like 2 weeks after the release of New Super Mario Bros. U, they slammed everyone, boom, with a big announcement about Mario. And everyone was blown away. All right? At least that's what I'm understanding, okay? From what I read on social media. So what everyone is now hypothesizing is that Nintendo actually does have something planned for Zelda this year. Whether it's a huge announcement in regards to Breath of the Wild 2, maybe it's even coming out by the end of this year, or maybe they're actually going to do a collection of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess together, or maybe they're redoing a lot of the handheld games. Like maybe they're redoing Minish Cap, Spirit Tracks, or Link Between Worlds, and they're doing collections of those, much like they just did with what was the one that they just did? Link's Awakening a couple years ago. So maybe they're remaking those games, all right? But basically, people are speculating all of this, and they're saying the reason that Nintendo has not come out and said it is because they want to release Skyward Sword, what is it, June, that is coming out? So they don't want everyone to immediately bypass Skyward Sword's remake, and say, we're moving on to, we don't care about that, we want to play these other games. You see what I mean? They're basically saying, let's release Skyward Sword first. Everyone will go buy it because it's the only Zelda content you're aware of that's even coming out in 2021. Especially those who like Zelda and they want to celebrate the anniversary. So they'll go buy it, start playing it. Then within a week, they're going to drop a bomb and be like, ha, see, we have all this plan. So basically, it's a marketing strategy. That's what people are saying, because they're saying they've done it before with Mario. Only mentioned one Mario game for the longest time, and then when the game finally came out, then all of a sudden, boom, here's a ton of announcements about other Mario games. Okay? There you go. Expand Dong says this just happened with Mario 3D World. Mario 3D World came out for about, was out for about a week, and then all of a sudden the Nintendo Direct happened. Why did they wait till right after? Because they wanted people to buy Mario 3D World first. See? This could be true. This could be a marketing strategy that Nintendo is now employing. But, that Direct was so underwhelming. It was like, this is supposed to be a Direct about games coming out in 2021. Here's a bunch of expansions and non-announcements. And by the way, games that aren't coming out in 2021 like Splatoon 3. Huh? So I guess we'll see. But I certainly hope Nintendo has something up their sleeve. And by the way, with State of Play tomorrow from Sony, right? This will be exciting to see what games will be announced that are going to compete directly with Nintendo. If Sony comes out and says, we've got God of War Ragnarok coming out this year. We've got the new Horizon game coming out this year. We've got this and this and this. If they announce 10 games that are Sony exclusives for 2021, damn. But I guess we'll see. It could be, maybe it's just as bad. Maybe it'll be just as bad. Who knows? We'll find out tomorrow, I guess. Okay? All right, guys. Let us now get to the shout-outs. For those of you who have contributed, first of all, I will say this. The one tip I received on pre-stream is from Adam Goodhart. But when I went and checked it, it says that he does not have a verified PayPal account. It says unverified. So Adam Goodhart, I need you to answer. Are you here? Did you actually tip me? Is this real? If not, if I don't hear from you and I have no confirmation, I'm just going to have to refund it. All right? All right. So let's get started here. 2 hours ago, Def himself did a 59-bit cheer. Thank you to Def himself. That was before the stream was on. Okay? Also, 2 hours ago, Toxic Text at a 300-bit cheer said another day, another biddy. And that also was before the stream was on. Yeah, all those were before the stream turned on. The stream actually turned on about an hour and a half ago, and both of these were about 2 hours ago, it says. So, yeah. So, anyway, I guess those don't count because they were before. Actually, see, all right, you guys gotta give me a little bit of leeway here. I'm using a new service. I'm using Streamlabs. It says that Toxic Texas Cheer came in 2 hours ago. But I swear that came in when the stream was on, didn't it? In which case, it should be counted for this stream. I swear it did. I think that this is out. This is not correct. All right. Well, let's get it up on the leaderboard. There we go. We'll count it. Eternal Napalm resubscribed to the channel for 37 months in a row. Thank you, Eternal Napalm, for the ongoing support. I appreciate that very much. Snow Carl cheer. Do you think Streamlabs situation perfectly exemplifies the struggle of the independent content creator in comparison to the big guys represented by huge agencies with pull with companies? I mean, do you really think that a giant streamer that brings in a ton of attention to a streaming service would be treated the way I am? No. Right? Of course not. You're right. Someone who's a millionaire and has millions of viewers and everything is not just going to be unceremoniously kicked off of a platform. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. That happened to Dr. Disrespect. Never mind. All right, let's continue. Westside Rascal cheers. I bet if Drake reached out to Streamlabs, they resolve the issue ASAP. Of course. If he just showed him his online bling, then this whole Streamlabs thing would be no thing. Let's put it that way. Frog in a party hat cheers. He said, what happens if this issue happens to come with Stream Elements? Then I do something else. Worst case scenario, I have to set it up with tips that you guys just tip me directly on PayPal. The problem is, when you do that, there would be no messages or anything, which would suck. Obviously, you guys want to get messages and stuff to me with your contributions. I want to give shout-outs to you guys. So that's why having these third-party service, whether it be Muxy or Streamlabs or Stream Elements or any, because I know there's more than that too, you know, I would just have to keep swapping until, if it kept happening, just do plain tips. But I don't think this is going to happen with anyone else. I think, like I said, this seems like a complete glitch. This doesn't seem like something intentional, and it seems like something that the company can't figure out, and their customer service is just so bad that no one can really figure it out. So, okay. Westside Rascal cheered again. He says, would you consider a tight rip the jeans tip goal? No. Snowcrawl cheered. He says, oh, wait, hold on a second. No. That's incredibly stupid. I got to start doing that again. Okay. Snowcrawl cheered. He said, Phil, every season has its own produce. Celery is harvested in early autumn. Apples late autumn. That's why certain items aren't stocked during this time of year. So you're telling me every single other week that I was able to get celery at my local grocery store, that was grown in autumn. And you think that celery actually was preserved for a whole year, and they just put it out on the shelf now. Not that they bring it in from a farm nearby and harvest it. Like, okay, if that's what you really think, Snow Carl, good for you. If that's really what you think. All right. Anyway, Westside Rascal Cheers says, here you're also upset that there were no pumpkins in stores. Yes. I wanted to carve a nice, fresh February jack-o'-lantern. Anyway, so we've now gotten to the tip from this Adam Goodhart, and I haven't heard from him, so I'm just going to refund it. I don't know who this is. Don't recognize the name. So I'm just going to refund it. It is unregistered, or excuse me, unverified. So just gonna refund it now. Get it out of here so that way I don't have to worry about it later. Okay? I would appreciate, again, guys, I need your help with tips right now in the short term because I need to basically raise as much money as I can to pay my tax guy so he'll do my taxes. So if you could tip me, please do. Right now, I have no tips on the stream today so far. So if you can, please do, and thank you. Enhanced Biscuit Mode Chew says, maybe you'll like Divinity enough, you'll check out maybe Wasteland or Baldur's Gate. I don't know, maybe we'll see. I've heard there's similar franchises, right? Total Scoring Cheers, Indians drink tons of raw milk. That's why they're healthy. Oh, is that true? They actually drink raw milk. Huh. All right, well, we'll see, I guess. Maybe you're right. Maybe that's what it is. I I probably would not want to drink raw milk, considering the fact that I'm basically kind of half lactose intolerant. What I mean by that is I can drink milk and dairy, but sometimes it gives me a lot of digestive issues. So I guess we'll see, but I probably do not want to be dealing with that. Probably stay away from the whole milk, okay? Okay. Oh, let's see here. Blanca Lives Matter Cheese, you seem obsessed about channel points and predictions. Not that I'm complaining. Any chance you could come up with ways to use them outside of the wagers? Because basically only 4 people can use it during your Street Fighter 2 stream, and there's nothing else to spend them on. First of all, that's not true. You could use it to unlock emotes in the chat. If you're not a sub, you can unlock emotes. You can modify emotes in the chat using it. These are features that are already built into Twitch that I have nothing to do with. They're defaults. You could be using, they're there, set up for everyone, okay? So those are things you could definitely use them for, okay? Outside of that, you're right. Really, right now, we don't have much else going on with the channel points. I'm all ears if you have ideas of realistic things we could do with channel points. Okay? So, suggest something. There you go. Shit. What did I just do? Oh, no. Oh, no! I deleted my hard drive! No, I didn't. I just hit the mouse accidentally. Evel Gibson Charity says you got to play on the hardest mode in Ghosts and Goblins if you want to be as hard as the originals. No, I'm not doing that. Snow Curl cheered. He said, I think doing marathons for sub goals kind of devalues them. We want Cooking with the King. If you do a marathon, it has to be more gameplay than a regular day of streaming. We already had sub goals for Cooking with the King, and it failed twice in a row. Twice. And then I said I'll never do it again, and I never did. So you don't know what the hell you're talking about, but thank you for the cheer. Snowcrawler said, oh, excuse me, I read the wrong thing. Westside Rascal cheered and said, maybe a DSP tries it with Indian people food. No, it's not Indian people's food. It's Indian food. The fuck you talking about? Westside Rascal cheers at Cooking with the Tax Guy. No. Mr. Blue Sky resubscribed for 3 months in a row. Thank you very much, Blue Sky, for 3 months of support. I appreciate that. All right. So now it looks like a couple of tips did come in. The first one, it looks like, is from Alfred Aponte. Thank you very much, Alfred Aponte, for this tip. And he tipped me $6.30, and he says the following. Hold on. I'm just trying to get this to work. He says, I love the new tipping system. The other one was giving me difficulties for a while. Oh, really? I wonder what was going on. What difficulties were you having with the previous one with Streamlabs? I'm all ears. I'd like to hear what was happening. Because I'm trying to figure this out. Is this actually a better system? I don't know. So thank you, Alfred. Now, it says I got another tip, but it's not showing up in my it's not showing up in my PayPal. I think my PayPal page is screwed up again. What just happened? Oh, come on. I clicked the whole thing and I hit cancel by accident. Hold on a second here. Hit cancel. That sucks. There. Don't hit cancel like a fool. What a foolish fool I am. All right. So thank you, Alfred. I'd like to shout out this other tip, but I need to actually show up in my PayPal first, which is not. So I got to wait a minute here. AJ Dandy cheered. He says, how about a bandana tips goal? They are not intrusive. You get a bunch of them and wear them like Hulk Hogan. I've never worn a bandana in my life. I wouldn't even know how that works. Snorlax cheered. He says, 10,000 points to make you hydrate. I already drink enough. I don't think you want me drinking even more. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Timble Slice cheers. Says, I'm sure yet again I missed this in pre-stream. What are you looking forward to in seeing PlayStation event? Will you buy PSVR 2? No, there's zero chance I'm buying PSVR 2. That's nuts. I would never buy PSVR 2. PSVR 1 was a very expensive endeavor for me, and the fact that I basically got minimal use out of it, I would not be getting PSVR 2. Absolutely not. That seems like it would be a complete waste of my time. So, no. As for what do I want to see at the PlayStation event, there's two things I want to see. The New Horizon and God of War Ragnarok. Anything else extra would be icing on the cake, but those are the two I want to see. Local Nomad at 145-bit cheer says, I don't understand the gaming community. Games like Battlefield 5, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and Anthem were universally disliked on launch, yet still sold them millions. Anthem made $100 million in digital revenue in February 2019. What's the correlation? I don't know what you mean. Battlefield 5, I have no idea. It was a flop at launch, and I didn't play it. I don't know anything about it. Star Wars Battlefront 2 had such fan backlash, they redesigned the game to play better and be better over a length of time. And people actually enjoyed the changes they made to the game, and it did get some traction for a bit there until they finally just dumped it, what was it, a month or two ago? So there you go. But I don't know what you mean by Anthem. I didn't even know anyone bought it in February 2019. Wait, isn't that when it came out? When did it come out? I don't know. 2-3 years ago? I can't even remember. You gotta understand something. Even if a game is terrible, all right? Even if it has bad press behind it, if there's hype behind it, like a BioWare game is going to have hype behind it because it's BioWare, people are going to buy it. A ton of people bought that game, dropped it, and never played it ever again. So that's why it had 100 million in sales. And then the problem is these games need to make more money than just the initial sales these days to be profitable, and it has not. So, Turtle Dude Cheered, he says, you hear Tiger Woods crashed his car and swerved off the road to avoid hitting a turtle. I didn't hear about the turtle, but I did hear that it was insanely bad. He shattered both of his legs completely, and basically he's done. Like, I mean, not to say that the end-all be-all of Tiger Woods is that he's a golfer, but it seems like he will never golf again, which is unfortunate. But we all wish him the best, obviously, right? Melody Zelda cheered, and he says, some streamers are getting dropped by PayPal. Due to the risk their business poses for PayPal, their money is being held hostage for 180 days. Well, I haven't heard anything about that. I'm curious to hear what streamers you're talking about. Are you talking about large-scale streamers who possibly get a ridiculous amount of chargebacks and stuff? The good news here for me, okay, I don't get that many chargebacks anymore, thank God. I curtailed it. There was a lot of issue there for a 6-month period. It was constant. But now, whenever I get these tips that are very suspect, I refund them immediately. So I'm not getting the charge back afterward, you see? So I've stopped most of that, okay? But if you have some examples, are these big streamers, are these people making ridiculous money, and then half that money is fake and gets refunded? You know what I mean? Like, I'd be curious to hear about that. But am I worried? No, not at this point. I'm not worried at all about it. I don't think I am so small time compared to any big streamer. Like, seriously, I am, pocket change compared to what big streamers are bringing in. So if you tell me big streamers got dropped, I'd be like, yeah, I definitely believe that. I would definitely believe that. Okay, now hold on a second here. Let's see something. Let me see something here. Because I think... Yup. Okay. Let me take care of this. Quickly. Quickly! Hold on one second, everybody. Before I continue on with shout-outs here. Okay. Did that, and this, and this, and that, and this, and that. Okay. Done. Good. Okay, that's taken care of now. Good. All right, continuing on. So let's see here. Timble/Cheer said, I'm sure I missed this in pre-stream. What are you looking forward to seeing? Oh, I already read that. Sorry. Oh, yeah, my thing got scrolled down. Hold on. So the last thing I read was Melody Zelda, right? Last thing I read was Melody Zelda. Okay. Let me refresh here. Listen, my PayPal's outdated here. Looks like I did get a tip. I just want to make sure it really is who it says it is. Oh my God, there's like big delay here. I'm not sure what's going on with my PayPal right now. There's big delays. This one came through. But where's the other one? I don't know what's happening. My PayPal is kind of screwed up today. I don't know. I'll give a shout out in a minute. Timble/Cheer said, easy pre-stream viewers today, all were no easy money. I have no idea what the hell that means. Then he cheered again. He said, big shows with AEW. Yes, but I don't really care. I don't watch wrestling. But yeah, Big Show signed with AEW. Okay. Then Anonymous Cheery said, I know I casually asked in the past, can I still use a parody of your likeness in the past with the name Daddy Italy for a video game I have? I think I have a winner idea. Only if I receive copious amounts of profit sharing from the sales of the game. That's the only way that Daddy Italy would be allowed in your game. I have to get like maybe 70-80% of the profits of the sales. Then I would agree to that. Yes. Timbo Slice Chewy said Tiger Woods had major back surgery. The poor guy will not have bad back and 2 bad legs and a fully broken ankle. Hope he can enjoy life to the fullest. Yeah, to me, when you hear how bad this accident was that he was in, like, you just hope that this guy's gonna have a normal life moving forward, because this was like a debilitating accident. Shattering both of your legs after having back surgery is no, joking matter. This guy is fucked up right now and needs support. So I wish him the best. Hopefully he could just have a normal life for the rest of his life and not have to worry about golf and shit. Forget all that shit. Just be able to walk. You know what I mean? Let's see here. So Jim Rayner has tipped me $3. Thank you, Jim Rayner. And I did check. It is a verified tip and everything, so I can actually count it, which is nice. And he says, make sure you explore and take as many fights and quests as possible so you'll level up. If you skip a bunch of stuff, enemies that are 2 levels above you will be extremely difficult to defeat, eventually kill all the Magisters too. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jim Rayner, for the tips on the game. Again, we're so early in the game, I'm not sure this is really going to apply today, but I guess we'll find out. Baron Gaming stream, to be 200-bit cheers. I think of streaming myself. What is one piece of advice you get? Be yourself, have fun, and don't be pressured too much about viewership. Don't be pressured too much about popularity. Right now, streaming is an insanely competitive venture. People just getting into it likely are going to have a tough time getting viewers, at first at least. If you're enjoying yourself and having a good time, it won't matter if you have 5 viewers or 500 or 5,000. You're still having a good time. So it's not a waste of time. You see what I'm saying? Lou Consta has resubscribed for 5 months. It says, time to support Phil once again. Can't wait for the stream. Thank you, Lou Consta. Timbo Slice Cheers. So will you get Cuphead outfit and Fall Guys next season, which is 80s themed? Possibly. If we're still regularly playing Fall Guys on a weekly basis and there's a Cuphead outfit and I can earn it or get it with what I have, then maybe I would do it. We'll see. Okay? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so far for the support today. Shout out to the top cheers of the week so far. The week is young. Today's only the second streaming day of the week for me. But, starting with Monday. So let's do some shout outs. Thank you to Ninstar Rune, who's in 10th place. Snow Carl, who's in 9th. Westside Rascal, who's in 8th. Anonymous is in 7th. Biggest Kobe fans in 6th. Random Game Roulette and your boy Bob are tied for 4th. Timbo Slice is in 3rd. Pumpy Venus is in 2nd. And Toxic Tex currently the top cheerer of the week. Thank you to Toxic Tex for all the cheers this week. Also, thank you to those who gifted subscriptions to the channel this week. No one, absolutely no one has gifted a sub yet. So I have no shout outs to do there. Literally none. Okay. All right, I'm not sure what's going on. So Internal Miscreant, at least from what I'm seeing here, through Stream Elements, has tipped me, but none of the tips are showing in my PayPal. I don't know what's going on. Internal Miscreant, I don't know what's going on. I seriously have no idea what's going on with your tips. Because he's trying to be productive. He's actually suggesting stuff. None of this is showing up in my PayPal. I don't know what's happening here, dude. I'm refreshing. And it's not showing your tips. So I can't verify because they're not there. I don't know what's happening, dude. You seems like you were having an issue the other day, too. Something's going on with your tips. Just yours. Other people's tips are coming through. I don't know what's going on. All right. Timbo Slice Cheers, and don't forget, new Call of Duty season's out tomorrow. After tonight, next time will be fresh new content. So I guess Saturday, we'll see all the new content, right? Dark Lord Stan 91 cheers. I think it's mostly on you that you didn't get much out of your PSVR. There's 500 games available. It's not like there's nothing to play. Yeah, there's 500 games, and none of them are killer apps. I played, the vast majority of the launch titles. I thought some of them were neat. Some of them were not so neat. A lot of them had issues with the way that they were utilized with space and tracking and the like. And sadly, some of them made me sick. And after playing it for about 2-3 months, I just didn't care about it anymore. So it's great that there's all these other games. How many do the people really talk about? 0. Have you ever seen a PSVR game as a Game of the Year contender? Have you ever heard anyone talk about PSVR games outside of their release window? And I think herein lies the problem. PSVR is a gimmick, and no one's really talking about it. You know? Yeah, this sucks. I got a bunch of tips that are coming in, and my PayPal's not updating. I wonder if I log out and log back in if that'll fix it. Because I'm looking, and, like, nothing's updating. This happened a week or 2 ago, too. Where it was just really sluggish to update anything. I may just give all you the benefit of the doubt. Let's see here. Timbo Slice has gifted a sub to Original Drum. Congratulations to the Original Drum, and thank you, Timbo, for the support. Yeah, nothing. It's not. It's showing basically no tips have come in for about 8 minutes. When in reality, in the last 8 minutes, I got like a bunch of tips. So I'm just gonna do shout outs. Fuck this. Let's see here. So, internal miscreant tipped me $1.30. He said a recommendation for channel points I've seen other channels do is a hydrate break or a stretch break. For commercial break while you're streaming, some streamers have channel points to use to remove a feature of the game. Why would I want to have people use channel points to take breaks? That doesn't even make sense. We have a scheduled break. Why would we make it different? That's weird. If you can elaborate further on how that works, that doesn't make any sense to me. All right, so that's one tip. Then Internal Miscreant tipped again and said, I apologize for the kerfluffle the other day. I don't know why my tip didn't go through. Well, in that case, your tip didn't go through at all. Now I think just my PayPal's lagging today. Then he tipped again and said, several ideas for channel points usage, hydrate, stretch, and remove features in the game. Well, you see, he just said that. I don't know what's going on, dude. Seems like there's some issues with your tips. I don't know what's going on. Lunaba tipped me $2. The Divinity Original Sin 2, finally remember to take advantage of your surroundings, explore explosive barrels and such. Oh, okay. I haven't even had combat. There's been one fight in the tutorial, or the intro of the game, and that was it. I haven't had any combat at all. So I don't, you know, oh, you gotta use this, use that. I'm not even kidding you. 3 separate people wrote detailed guides about this game and sent them to me. I'm like, dude, I'm 3 hours in. I haven't even seen any of the things you guys are talking about. People are so eager to see me play this franchise that they're all trying to help me, but none of the help applies to anything I've done in the game yet. Timbo Slice Cheery said PSVR is worthless. I sold mine, got VR for PC, and I have a blast with it. Tons more games. So there you go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break so I can use the restroom. I've been waiting. Oh, no, Timbo cheered again. No, I take that back. He did not. This is stupid. It looked like updated, but there was no update. Okay. Let's take a break. I got to use the restroom. When we come back, it'll be Divinity. All right? So thank you, guys. I'll be back shortly. I'll be back shortly with Divinity Original Sin 2. All right? Thank you, guys. See you in a few.